Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes.
Foot out joke food. 100 racks on a surf dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Food. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. 100 foot out.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Quivercast, where we chat with surfers from all around the world, from all walks of life, and we get their story. Find us at www.thequivercast.com. I am Mike, your host. Let's get into the show. All right, stoked, everybody. Today we have Josh Sleigh here, sitting in Oceanside. It's actually a nice night. How are you doing, Josh?
Doing good. Really stoked to be here.
Right on. Do you live in Oceanside?
So I'm in Oceanside. Yeah,
Okay.
I ended up buying here in 2003.
Oh, you've been here a while.
Yep, kind of just low key. It was the air shows, so there was like Derek Bockelman and Zach Reinhardt, and then there was like Ben Way, and then at the time, a good family friend, Gavin Sutherland, Jock Sutherland's son,
Oh, wow.
was living here, and another guy, Marty, with Mad Surfboards, and it was a pretty cool crew. This was like 2003, 2002, Ben Way.
Yep, that's cool.
I just really like those guys' vibe, and I like the fact that this was kind of like a centralized spot where you had Orange County up north, and you could go up to lowers. You know, it was a straight shoot, 30 minutes, or in the wintertime, you can go down to the reefs in La Jolla Black. So you got some big waves, you got some small waves, and then you got all the beach break, and you got reef breaks. And
Yeah, good setup. It's close to everything. What do you think of how the Oceanside is changing?
oh, that's wild. It's like downtown Waikiki.
Totally, and it happened fast.
Yeah, it was a very interesting thing. I do miss the hookers on the side of the road and Hill Street and all the craziness that used to be here. Was like, I kind of like the grunge, but
The grittiness.
yeah, I think that's still here with us boys that roll our Harleys and still do our thing. So
Okay.
I like it. I mean, I don't know. It change is inevitable. So
It's changed a lot, though. Do you go like frequent the new places, the new restaurants and hotels? And...
every now and then I'll go out and just check
Okay.
it out, check the vibe out. And
Yeah.
just, it is what it is. So, I mean, you
Might as well enjoy it.
might as well enjoy it.
Okay, right on. Okay, so where'd you grow up?
Grew up between Oahu on the North Shore and up in San Clemente. My mom and family was up in the Shore Cliff, San Clemente area.
Oh,
Mom remarried after her dad, and so I had a stepdad, Ron, who really was a rad guy. Rode motocross, surfed, snowboarded, all that kind of stuff. Rad family, had young brothers, and they just took me under their wing. And so Laguna Niguel, just the Orange County scene,
Okay.
was super fun. So
where'd you surf at mostly?
I surfed a lot of Salt Creek.
Yeah.
But, you know, then I'd be down at the pier, and then I'd be down at Lowers, and had friends that some of them did like the NSSAs. I probably did a couple, maybe one or two, but I just kind of cruised. It was more or less just free surf, but surfing Salt Creek, we had the photo editor, Larry Flame Moore.
Yep.
And so, I mean, I didn't really have to go anywhere. I had the world's best surfers there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I always had the best surfers at Creek, and it's kind of the French Riviera. So I just, I just kind of fed on that and watched.
Like surfing gravels? Did you like gravels?
Yeah. I mean, when I grew up, I mean, you had boards.
It was like the place, right?
Yeah,
Or photos.
it was definitely. I mean, you had the Billy brothers, Kevin and Chris Billy,
Yep.
and you had just a eclectic crew of Mark Bellinger to there was Brad Kingsley and oh man, Joe Rich and Mark Gabriel and. I mean, John Munson. I mean, there's so many names there. There was a pretty dynamic brotherhood. BR and yeah, it was really rad. I mean, you had Terry Sinnott and
Yep.
surfboard shape. You had a lot of shapers. You had a lot of egos, and you had you had some punk rockers and hippies, and you had everything. So
How did you learn to surf?
just dad, you know,
Dad surfed?
Yeah, since dad's nutsack.
Yep.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, it was happening.
Dad's a surfer, and you're going to be a surfing kid. So that's how it went. So.
Okay. Do you remember your first wave?
I remember tidbits. Like I was hanging with pro surfer Mike Cruikshank.
Oh yeah.
And we were at rode my Harley up and went up to a festival up in Orange County. They have these concerts, and we were hanging out. And I had this flashback. We were at 10th Street in Laguna, and he drugged me out. And I remember screaming bloody murder.
Scared?
Just like, you son of a bitch. And he threw me on the front. But I remember getting up and riding with him on a wave at 10th Street. That was some of my like early memories. Some of it was like uncle with Laird. My uncle had a clothing company called Sunbreaker. So you had like Laird Hamilton, and dad shaped for all those guys, Hans Hedeman and Simon Anderson, and I always was around just amazing guys. So like if you to say my first wave, God, man, that's a hard one, because I mean it's just a flush of different moments that might pop up. But yeah. Cool. Thanks, Cruikshank.
That guy rips.
Yeah,
he's so good.
His dad was like a football player. If you ever see him, his legs are like tree trunks.
Yeah. Right on. So you don't remember? So you remember just mostly going to Salt Creek and Sacramento?
Yeah, that and the North Shore. Rolling with Dad with, Marvin Foster and Mickey Nielsen and just the Ho, Derek and Michael Ho. Dad shaped for Blue Hawaii for probably like 20 years.
Yeah,
with Glimanami, he was he was the guy that he would be in town with jeans, alligator cowboy boots, and a white button-up, partying, and then he would come in the morning. He would just show up. From what I heard, he'd be smelly, hungover, smell like beer, partying all night at the wave,
cool.
and then he would produce these magic guns, and all the team riders wanted to ride Dad's board. So
was it specialty guns?
A majority. I mean, everything that he
shaped
did,
everything, I'm sure.
Yeah, he just made magic boards. Wow. And he just was punk rock, and it really pissed a lot of people off because he didn't care.
He was like an outsider to the North Shore guys, but he also friends?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say outsider.
Not outsider?
Like a mayor.
Oh, like a mayor.
You know, like a mayor of surf. They called him the Keith Richards of surfboard shaping.
That's funny.
And he was like the mayor. I mean, when he passed away, I was on the North Shore. I'll keep it real short and sweet, but I went back to pick up his templates and tools.
Okay.
And the house that I stayed with was through a photographer friend, John Steele. I didn't know it was Dick Brewer's house. I didn't know Jim Yarbrough was Dick Brewer's. The guy I was renting from was his ghost shaper.
Wow.
And one day I just got done surfing like 12-foot sunset, and I was all stoked, and I come out, and Brewer's sitting in the back with his arms crossed looking at these 8 sleighs on the wall. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? Can I help you? And he's like, who the fuck boards, excuse my French, but who the fuck boards are these? And I'm like, they're mine? And he's like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Josh.
Yeah.
He's like, Sleigh. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here collecting my dad's templates.
Okay.
I go, Dad passed away like a month or two ago. And he was like, what? He's like, okay, meet me out front. I'm going to have a bunch of joints. I'm going to have some beers, and you're going to sit down and talk with me. We're going to have a talk.
Oh, that's funny.
And I was like, what the fuck? Who is this guy? And so I walk out, and all these guys, like these heavy Dick Brewer team riders, are sitting around him like God. And I walked up, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, okay, you ready? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, all right, so Randy Sleigh. He goes, let's go to Lahui over in Kauai. There was a Dairy Queen, and your dad was this guy. We heard about him. And we saw there was foam dust flying out of the back of Dairy Queen, and there were these boards with these tapered rails that were really, really pulled down and really refined and performance driven. And we couldn't figure it out. But your dad was my nemesis, and everybody's jaw just dropped. Again, it goes back to that old cowboy saying, Dad was gone, so there was no threat. And he just shared with me, and we smoked a bunch of joints and drank some beers and just talked about Dad and him and like how it all transpired, and talked about their times, and just really special. Like I was thinking about that the other day, just like that moment with him, to be able to have his guard down and just share like that with those guys. I mean, I remember at the end of the conversation, one of the guys walked up to me and he's like, who the fuck are you? Like, oh, my name's Josh Sleigh. My dad was Randy Sleigh. He's, your dad's our Sleigh? I was like, you were sitting there.
Yeah.
But that's the North Shore. That's how it goes. So,
wow.
Special.
Do you still have some of your dad's boards?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're finding me. It's really,
Oh, really?
It's really wild.
They're coming like people are bringing them or calling you?
Yeah, or they've people I don't even know send me photos. Hey, I'm in Florida. I got this. You're Josh, you know. And,
Oh, so sweet.
and just really, really unique. Like, I mean, I had a board, so I won. There's an event called Surfercross, and this was in 2014, and I was teamed up with a guy named Mike Brown that we won. He went back to Tennessee. It was in his mom's attic after we won. He was so stoked on surfing that he went home. He's in his mom's attic. I get a phone call, and he's like, "Hey, boy, how you doing?" I'm like, well, "What's up, Brownie? How you doing, man?" And he's like, "All right, I think you need to sit down, boy." And I'm like, you know, we just won Surfercross. I know he's super stoked on surfing, and I hear his wife, tell him. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, well, okay, I'll sit down. You know, I'm like sitting there, and wife's looking at me. What are you doing? I'm like, Brownie's on the phone right now. He goes, okay, boy, do you know an R Sleigh? And I'm like, yeah, that's my dad, Randy Sleigh. I'm like, why? And he's like, I got an R Sleigh in my attic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How random's that?
That was so random. And I could go down the line what's transpired just from that one story and that board. But that's kind of like the magic that's transpired through the people that he's touched, the boards, the stories, his generosity. He was really known for providing boards for people. Didn't even care if they surfed well or not. Most of them were kids, teenagers. He'd provide boards. I mean, you could Fred Patacia to Kalani David to Eli Olson, a really popular big wave surfer, ripper, pipeline guy. I mean, the list goes on and on. Local guy Smirk was his old roommate at Holton's between Lonnie's and Jocko's and stuff. But yeah.
Wow. So how many boards do you think your dad produced over the years? Do you have a clue?
Ooh, I remember one time the IRS came in and there were stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of order books.
Okay.
So, I mean, there was probably 75,000 just in that. If you were to say over his lifetime, maybe half 500,000.
Jeez, wow.
You know, and these were all handshapes.
Handshapes, no machines then. Huh?
You know, I mean, he was there with Simon Anderson at Aloha Surfboards when the first thruster was made.
Really?
A lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
But he was there, you know. Simon made his, Randy made his, went back to Kauai. Laird stole it off his porch.
Really?
There's a lot of stories. I mean, there's so many stories, and it's wild because a lot of them I've learned after Dad passed.
So let me ask you this, not to be controversial. Did your dad help invent
he was
the thruster?
in there. Yeah, he was in there.
But he gets no credit.
He didn't fucking care.
He didn't care.
He didn't want it.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't, you know, like that wasn't his style. That wasn't his way. He was punk rock like that. Like,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. I'm trying, you know.
Because Simon Anderson's that's his mark in history.
Yeah, but the people that know.
Even though Simon Anderson rips and everything else too.
No, he did. The guy went out and did his thing. Dad did his thing. The thing is that, like, I think that's the beauty of it is the people that knew were the only people that mattered.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was a cowboy thing. There was a maverick radicalness to it. And I think that's something that today is kind of lost. I mean, you still got those guys, those guys that are out there, and that's kind of like with how I approach it with my whole program. You know, I'm not chasing it.
Fair enough.
The people find me. And it's really unique and neat because the people that do find me, I'll make them the board, and then afterwards I see how they surf, and I'm like, holy crap, that guy rips.
Yeah. I see some of your videos on Instagram, some of the other guys surfing your boards.
Yeah, and then that's not even really, that's not the goal. It's just make good boards with a gas pedal and refine them, like be a tailor. Like I think that's the part that I really enjoy is like, bring me your best boards. I don't care who you rode. And I think that's the thing is if you're not open to look and research, then you're not going to grow as a craftsman and an artisan, especially as a tailor for making surfboards. Like the whole thing is to, why does it work? What's making it work? Measure it out. Look at it. Where is it like pulled on the rail? Where is it tucked? How far in front of the fin? How far back? I mean, there's so many things that are little nuances that are within a surfboard shape that are off that makes it work.
Okay.
So it's not perfect.
How many boards have you shaped?
Ooh, I've never cared to even fucking look, man.
Didn't write the numbers down?
I've been doing it now for a long time, and It's like, for me, like, I remember it was a Robo.
Okay.
A friend of mine, he was like, remember he was like, I'm at 500 board sleigh. What are you at?
Right,
and I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Most shapers put their number on there.
Yeah. And for me, it's like, does the board work or not that you're on?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
At the end of the day, 100%.
You know, it's not about the ego for me. I love that part of it, like the mystique. And, well, you want to know? Guess. Look at the board. How is it? You know, like, it's a hand shape. Are the rails even?
Okay. I mean, if it's hand shaped, it's impossible.
But
even if in the machine, probably
it's there.
You can get close.
Yeah,
no. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
Mathematically.
Well, for sure, you can get all Eric Kakawa on it if you want. 3/16 by 5/16 by 5/16. You know, like so. There's those kind of like those numbers. You have those numbers, guys, and that's great. I respect it. Whatever. I good for you. I just don't care as long as my last board worked.
Yeah. Let's stick on your dad, though, a minute more.
Yeah, no worries.
Where did your dad get his clothes at, living in Hawaii with the white shirt and the boots?
Randy had his own style, man.
Did he?
He would
Before you buy things online, how did he get that stuff?
He had a girl in Laguna Beach that he used to date. She was one of the first artists to paint clothes with the puff paints and the fluorescence. Her name was Pat DeMar. For any of the history knockers back in the clothing and artsy days and fashion. But he and her, they dated for a while, and then it was like, that was the time. He was the white button-up shirt with the jeans and the cowboy gator skin boots.
I can imagine him. I've seen pictures on your Instagram.
Yeah, he's just like a tall, slanky guy that
kind of rocking it.
He was Keith Richards of surfboard shaping.
That's
so
funny.
I can't.
Okay. So in September, right? They're putting him in the Hall of Fame. Is it Boardbuilders Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it's the Boardbuilders Hall of Fame.
In Sacramento?
The Bronner family, Damien and his father. It's with the rhythm and what is it? I have it here.
Okay.
It's it's the Boardbuilders Hall of Fame inductees, September 9th through the 23rd, historic Los Molinos district, San Clemente, California. And then that has my dad's one of his best friends, shapers, Chris McElroy. A lot of them.
There's some
Brad Basham. I mean, he's the guys of the kind of the industry too.
100%. Not just Sacramento.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Dale Velzy, Danny Bronner. I mean, he was Damien's dad was like one of the guys with Ronald Patterson, Timmy Patterson's dad, the Glassers at Hobie. Who else? So you had
Sennett in there.
You got Midget Smith. You got Terry Sennett. Rick James. Yeah, Rick James. That's like before Herbie Fletcher's.
Yeah.
The James family. You've got Jay Longley, and then you got Dad and Herbie Fletcher. I mean, this is the first inductees.
And it's a huge list.
It's going to be a huge list. It's it's like the Resin and Rhythm Festival, or God forgive me, but September 9th. It's in conjunction with the WSL, so it's on September 9th. It's the big party downtown. They have Los Molinos Beer Brewery, and there's going to be a lot of people with like vendors and surfboards, and they're giving them all they're giving them in the cement their own like plaque.
Sweet. So where's that plaque going to be? Right there on El Camino?
It's on Los Molinos. When you walk, that's kind of become the hub. The Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you stoked on that? They even like, what do you got planned that week? Yeah. Just hanging out there? I'm going to
celebrate. How would Dad do it? Well, he'd show up, he'd have beers, he'd party, and he would send it. And and Dad was a bright light in a dark place. And
so your dad's self-proclaimed underground kind of guy, kind of keeping to himself. Would he appreciate this gesture they're doing?
I thought about that the other day. I don't know. I don't know if he would be like,
doesn't matter.
Just be like, screw you. Or he would just be like, all right. But I think as he got older, like I mentioned recently, he one time showed me there was someone made a surfboard shaping tree of all the shapers. And I was like in my teenage years, and I remember he pointed at it. It was at like one of the trade shows, and he was like, he's like, I'm in here. And he was
proud of that.
He was, he definitely, the guys that he was talking about, he definitely admired and was proud of that. And I know that Dad's really influenced a lot of shapers in the world. And his proclaim to him, he goes, Josh, I'm an international surfboard shaper.
Yeah.
And that was what was on his obituary. They wrote out the whole thing in the newspaper. It was just our Sleigh, the Randy Sleigh, the international surfboard shaper. But he shaped all over the world.
That's awesome.
And he always taught people. He never he never held back. If someone wanted to learn something, he would tell them.
He wasn't one of those. You hear these stories of shapers like, get out of my bay.
Yeah.
They
Well, he was
they
there.
keep their secrets.
He did do that one time. I'm not going to drop a name because he's kind of famous now as a board builder, but
someone he didn't like for a reason.
I don't know. They were in his room touching his shit or what.
Yeah.
But I was there and I watched the guy fly through the air out of the shaping room. So he did have a long reach, and if he connected, you definitely were getting. Dad was taught in the barrio of San Clemente, use your dukes.
Okay.
Grandpa was a boxer, so
Did he fight?
oh yeah, Dad. That's the one thing I think that a lot of the Hawaiians loved my dad is he wasn't scared to scrap.
Okay.
He'd go toe to toe.
Really?
He'd get knocked out. He'd get back up. He taught me. So
Okay. Is that your philosophy too?
yeah, you gotta hold your own. You know, it's like one of those things where, you know, if you're going to scrap.
Okay.
You know, if you're going to get your ass handed, then you get your ass handed, you know, but at the same time, you got to be a man and you know,
Okay.
but don't be a dick. Don't be a kook.
Okay. There you go.
You know,
Don't be a bully.
I'm one of those guys, like the last person you'd ever see. And that's not my style, but if it comes down to it,
You got to protect yourself.
yeah,
or,
my family
Your
or
family,
friends or someone I don't even know if they're getting any kind of, you know, I'm going to stand up and
That's good.
be in front, be a man.
Okay. Cool. All right. We'll move on from your dad. Your dad sounds like the raddest guy. I wish I got to meet him.
Yeah, he was fun.
Yeah. And did you appreciate it when you were young? Did you know that he was?
We
How cool
we
he
did
was?
this. We bumped
butted
heads.
Okay.
You know, it was like if I had the shaping tool, he'd walk up and steal it from me. You're doing it fucking wrong, and I'd look at him, fuck you. It was like one of those things where we just, excuse my French. I
No,
don't know.
you can cuss.
It's just
fine.
how it is. It just I don't know. Yeah. So
And, well, let me ask you one more question. This is a personal question.
yeah, go for it.
Do you regret the head butting now with him being gone?
You know, it's hard, you know, because
Because I think a lot of dads and sons.
yeah,
have
it's
head
just
butting.
it's part of the thing, you
Yeah.
know, and I try not to do that with my son, but you know what? It's inevitable. The balls drop. The peacock starts. He's
Yeah.
got to test his ground. You
Yeah.
know, I have a 14-year-old and he's starting to do his thing. And,
Okay.
But I'm taking a different strategy with it where it's like, you know, you want to fall on your face, fall on your face.
Yeah.
It's like I always try to explain to him because we've had family members that have fallen. And I'm like, you make good choices, you make bad choices. Which one do you want?
Okay.
If you're not prepared for the bad choice, then you make a good choice.
Yeah. You don't want him to find out the bad
The
choice,
bad,
though.
bad,
You don't
know?
want him in jail.
He's
or
in high
something
school
stupid.
right
Yeah, he's
now,
young.
first year, and it's just like, look, man, you're going to be tested. You're going to be tempted. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you know. You might say Dad doesn't know anything, but I'm just going to let you know.
Right.
I'm here. I love you.
Okay. So let's talk about your son real quick.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
Just
the
one.
Okay.
Yeah, just one.
Wasn't he overseas or did he go to Ireland for outrigger thing or
Yeah,
something?
so for Oceanside Outrigger, he was one of the 3 club members
Wow.
to get picked.
So cool.
He was one of the fastest OC1 paddlers.
Wow.
And that's how he got picked up. One of the coaches saw him.
Okay.
They liked what they saw. They asked us, and we just gave it to him and said, "Hey, is this something you want to do?" And he did, and he got to go over there.
Where'd he
and
go?
He went to Samoa,
Samoa, okay,
and then he went to Fiji after.
Wow.
So I sent him with a board with my lady, and they went, and yeah, it's really cool, you know. Like
Wow.
they did really well. They led the first 30 miles because it's a long distance race.
Yeah.
But Team Tahiti, Hawaii, New Zealand, all the Polynesian breaded teams. So he was 14. They were 15. One 17-year-old. There were 6 of them. They were all young teenagers. Well, all the other team juniors were all 19. They were all
almost
at the
men.
age.
Yeah.
They were at the. So I told him, I go, look, you're one of the few countries that actually got to go.
Yeah.
2,
prestigious. Yeah.
I go, you got to learn the top level next elite paddlers.
Yeah.
What did you learn? You know, and he was like, oh, you know, they sprinted later. I go, so you blew your wad right off the bat. But that's what a 14-year-old should do, you know? So, but he learned, he's a straight A student. He's in all honors classes. I'm very about the education first.
All right.
Because that wasn't me.
Okay.
It wasn't my forte, but his mother is just an exceptional mother and just very smart and
Okay, cool.
very opposite of me.
So they're balanced.
Yeah.
He has a balanced household.
Athletics, grind dad, and,
Okay.
with work and whatnot. But then he's just, he's got I'm really lucky. I got a really smart kid, and
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's into the Polynesian paddling and just the basis of the Hawaiian roots and just the Polynesian lifestyle. And
What's your son's name?
Elijah.
Elijah. Okay.
Yeah.
So does Elijah surf?
Yeah, he surfs,
okay.
but I'm not that dad that pushes anything. I just want him to find his way
All right.
and just
Did you
support
give him surfing though?
Yeah. I mean, he was like just come out of the womb, and I had him on a board.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right at Bucks Beach, I put him right in
Just
the
kind
water.
of hanging out
Yeah,
and put him on. Cool.
yeah. It's just it's what it is. It's more like this is what Dad does. So
Right. You guys are going to probably hang out at the beach for a couple hours and also enjoy
he
it.
wanted to go today, but I was like, look, we're going to go do this. I'm going to do this podcast.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Meet a guy, Mike.
Sorry, Elijah.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Right on. Okay, so now let's get into Josh.
Okay.
So what is this Surfercross? Tell us about it.
Surfercross. So Surfercross was a thing that Mike Parsons, Sonny Garcia, Jeremy Albrecht, just a bunch of pro motocrossers
Okay.
and surfers that love to have an organic day in the beginning of let's go to your track. I want to learn how to ride moto. They're like the moto guys are like, I want to go to your beach and learn how to surf.
Okay.
It was 20 years ago. Turned into a very prestigious event now after 20 something years. I'm the 3-time champion.
Wow.
I was
Congrats.
tied with, thank you. I was tied with Sonny Garcia, so it's kind of bittersweet. He was
Yeah.
my nemesis
Okay.
within the racing. We would call and talk smack and shit.
Okay.
He'd call me from the track. Oh, I'm at the track. Where are you? I'd be like, I'm working. Shut up.
Yeah. Okay.
So there was always that great positive rivalry. And we just had a lot of fun.
Were you guys friends though?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
were
yeah.
friendly.
Yeah. I've been on
Just
surf
shit-talking.
trips. Yeah. Just fun,
Okay.
good, healthy organics.
Okay. Like
Talking
guys
smack.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great. And it's still going on.
Okay.
And then now there's new guys that are coming up that are, I'm 47. There's guys that are in their 20s.
Yep.
And I showed up this year, and since Sonny, God, always pray for him, but since his ordeal, this year I showed up with one of my dad's old surf team riders. And
okay.
I gave him the reins to take care of the sponsorships and do all that. And next thing you know, we got Honda Power Sports, Honda motorcycles. We've got Vision canopies. We had so many incredible Ride Dunlop, and then there were so many incredible sponsors. Rhino Power, their supplement company, which is
Okay.
great for us at our age. Like
Yeah.
I'm all about that, the getting healthier and just fitter and just staying. I used to be like, oh man, the rule. I was like, what? But now I'm like, no, that's right. You got to be the statesman
Okay.
and represent it, and let them know that, hey, if we're going to be in the water or we get on the bikes, I'm going to send it. Like,
Yeah.
and then because you know what, you're
You
going
don't pull back at your age?
No way.
You can't? Okay.
No,
You're no fear of something happening.
No.
All right,
I
fair
mean, I
enough.
tore my labrum a year ago. I had to work back from that in PT, and
Okay.
I got
So
stung.
you're not conservative at all?
No, I'm not conservative.
Okay.
No, I'll go out to second, third reef pipe. I'll go to Waimea. Let's go hit a triple.
Okay.
I've learned that you got to embrace fear.
Fair enough.
I've had
That's
cancer, so
Oh, you've had cancer
yeah,
too?
2015, and there was a lot of things that I learned a lot about the power of the mind.
Having cancer or just in life?
Just enlightened by it.
Okay.
With healing. I mean, we all have our own spiritual attacks.
Okay.
We have our struggles,
Mm-hmm.
and learning how to like turn those negative thoughts off, because thoughts really affect our overall chemistry, our body chemistry, whether it's negative, positive. We're energy, we're water.
Okay.
So if you're going to go dark and you're going to think dark, then you're going to self-persecute, and you got to learn how to control that and just shut it off, walk out, go look up.
Okay.
Look at the sky.
So when did you learn this? Recently, or you've always been like this?
This in the last, so that was 2015. I'd
Yeah.
say the most of the enlightenment has happened in the last couple of years. I had a bad major motocross or flat track accident racing Harleys where I broke my helmet in half, and my brain went cuckoo, and I wasn't myself for a couple of years, and through it because my mind would spin. So I went way out there.
Okay.
Cuckoo. But through it, I came back. You can heal. You can do self-work. I was watching, there's a guy named Joseph Rodriguez on YouTube that I really gotten into listening to.
Okay.
And there's another guy Bilyeu, I think his name is, but it's just another guy that he likes to interview really successful businessmen, but he also works with like, yogis and different kind of people. And there was a lady, Mel Robbins, another great.
Oh yeah, I've heard of her.
So she was sitting there talking about battered women. And then one day I was sitting there and she was like, I asked these battered women to go high five themselves in the mirror. And I was like, what? Whoa, that's kind of deep.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. So I stood up in front of the mirror. I couldn't even lift my hand at myself. And that was like the first moment where I was like, okay, I got to work. What am I, what's going on? And then I started to work on things like repetitive things like I am love, I'm smile, I'm a good father, I'm healthy, and then a lot of meditation things. And I reached a point where I remember in the meditative state when I had my cancer, where I worked with a lady and, working up with your eyes closed and getting into your head where you reach this milky place where it's just peace and just really relaxing and being able to reach that place. I started to picture in that dimension of my mind with my eyes closed of my cancer exploding. And then I got really into, through a friend, using marijuana oil, Rick Simpson oil, RSO. And it's a long story, but if I had never picked up my dad's tools after he passed away, I never would have met my team rider for wake surfing, and then never would have met her father who had the oils. And I took it, and lo and behold, instead of doing what the normal Western medicine and chemo and all that, I just went all in. I said, screw it. And that's kind of how my dad went about it. He just said, screw it. But he didn't I wish he would have done what I did with the Rick Simpson oil. But he just wrote it out, and I figured, you know what? If it's my time, Lord, and I've seen a lot of miracles and things. I'm a believer in Christ Jesus, and I just was like, all right, Lord, if you're real, point me in the direction. And that was kind of the beginning. And then I was led to my team rider's dad, and I just it's a long story, but it was heavy, and I felt the Holy Spirit. It was just heavy. And I started what he told me to do, the regimen. And 6 months later, I wasn't peeing blood, and I wasn't with pain in my stomach, and everything was gone, and I was healed. And
what did the doctor say?
You're good.
But did they say?
He asked me what I did.
Yeah.
And I just told him I took the marijuana oil, the Rick Simpson oil, and it saved my life. So here I am, and that's my testimony. And since then, through divine intervention and meeting people, I've met other people healed through it.
Wow.
So that's been I know that I did the right thing, and I just don't really preach it. I don't really talk about it too much, but if someone's sick or someone needs help, I'm always there, because that's how it happened for me.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's been a rad walk. I mean, here I am. It's 2023.
Yeah, no.
So 2015.
Were
Were
you thinking that you might die?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I was going quick. I mean, I lost my dad and my best friend in 2012, both of them that year. So I had everything that my best friend had. He went in 20 days. It was like these BBs that were on my nuts and the pain, and it was gnarly, dude. It was so vicious. It was so fast. So I just kind of was like, all right, is this it? It was kind of one of those things. And then I prayed about it, and the Lord showed me the way. And since then I've just kind of done my thing. And the rad thing was I didn't change my diet. I still had some beers. I stopped drinking sodas, but I'm not really a bad eater. I mean, I might have a couple ice creams, and, some candy here and there and whatnot. But I mean, for the most part, I still had beers, and,
Are you like a vegan or?
Oh, no. No. I tried doing that with Brian Connolly back in the day, another pro surfer. But
I remember that guy.
Yeah, I just was like, yeah, Connolly, you have I'm cool with it. I like my protein.
Okay, there you go.
But whatever, to each his own.
Okay. So Surfercross, are you running the Surfercross?
No, I don't run it. Okay. I'm just one of the athletes. I'm a 3-time champion.
Who runs that thing?
Jeremy Albrecht. And also Darren Brillo. He does a lot of the surfing contests and stuff.
Yeah.
Just great people.
That's rad. You were on the air show?
Yeah, the Van Surfing Magazine air shows. Okay. I did that for about, for as long as they went. I think it was like from 2002.
Man. Like Surfer Magazine and
Surfing
Vans.
Magazine, yep. Yeah. Yep, and Vans. And they had all the all the major companies sponsored it. I mean, it was like each stop was like, one was a Quicksilver, one was a Billabong, one was Vans.
Right.
And Vans was like title sponsor with Surfing Mag.
But it was separate, completely separate than the ASP at the time.
Yeah. I remember. I just gotten signed with Hurley. I went to Brazil and Argentina. I'd made both semis. I was getting ready to get on tour. And Keith Malloy, he ended up, I think the Brazil event, or was it Argentina? He ended up like winning or something. So he was like automatically, he was already in. And
you guys were doing QSs, the regular conventional QSs.
Yep, QSs. And I remember the Brazil event with like, with Benji Weatherly and the boys. And I remember one time, and I'll share, I don't even care, but like Benji Weatherly came up to me. I was eating dinner by myself, and he found out that I scored some bud. Okay. And he came up and he's like, "Hey, did you score?" I'm like, I didn't even know. I'm like, "Who the hell are you? Get out of here." Who are you setting me up? I'm in Brazil. Who knows? You're going to come knife me, like. And he's like, "No, to come to my hotel room." And I ended up going up there, and it was like Bruce Iron, Saxon Boucher, Andy was in there, and like all the boys. And Bruce and Andy, they knew my dad. So like when I showed up, they're like, "Yeah, Sleigh, oh, what's up, man?" Like.
Is that the first time you met him?
Yeah, it was the first. Like we just all met, but they knew Dad from Honolulu and stuff. Okay. And it was just classic. Like I look back to that time, and like everything was so raw. He wasn't no world champion. We all were just starting.
Surfers,
this was like
cruising.
1999, 2000. Okay. It was so cool, and like I got back from that event, and I was thinking, I'm going on the QS. I'm going to make the tour. It's on.
Okay.
And I remember it was Joey Baran when I was there. They weren't judging airs. I did like 2 airs on a wave, a couple snaps, and like I came in, and Baran, Joey's like, "Hey, Sleigh, like, you shouldn't be doing airs."
Yeah.
He's all, "Just tap it to the beach."
Three to the beach?
He goes, throw 3 different ones if you want, but you got to do 3, man. And I was like, "What?" And I ended up going to quarters, and I think it was La Mesa Hamburguesa in Argentina. The owner came up to me all stoked. He bought one of my boards, so I only had one board going into Brazil, but like that helped me get through that.
Okay.
And
So what happened? So you do the QS and then
came back. Yeah, that's right. Came back, and then Bob and everyone in the team back then were like, "Hey, so you want to do the air shows?" And I was like, "Hell yeah."
Completely separate?
Don't have to do the QS. Do you want to just be an air show guy? And I was like, I'm all in. Let's go.
Okay. Because you felt like you were getting robbed in the QS? Is that what you're saying?
I definitely felt like
changing your surfing
confined.
Or something?
I felt confined is the best way to put it. It was a different vanguard of guys and judging and what they felt surfing was to be. And my dad made Christian Fletcher's boards. You can go back to Wave Warriors, and it was all about airs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're doing these airs. You go on the air tour. Yep. Were you happy to walk away from the QS?
Yeah.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Well, part of me, in one hand, nowadays, looking back, I would have liked to just gone out there and done airs anyways, and then made the heats. Just get your scores and then just do airs, just to be do it like in a way that was kind of like a screw you.
Yeah. What year did Christian win the lowers?
What was that? Jeez, man, I just was watching that. That was like 89.
Oh, was that? Yeah.
Was it 90s? I got the cover
know.
of magazine. I have it. So
airs, you jump on that, and how's that go?
It went great, man. I mean,
and those were your people, or was that your surfing?
Me and Joe Cremo and Cooney, and it was just, we had such a rad crew. I mean, you had the air show went up and down the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Each city had their posse.
Okay.
They had their, you had the Oceanside guys, Balkman, Reinhardt. You had each place had their crew.
Mm-hmm.
And me, I surf Creek, but I also had roots in Hawaii. So like, and I even through school, I never was like a groupie kind of guy, like one crew guy.
Okay.
I kind of just gypsy,
you had friends everywhere.
like Dad. I was a gypsy.
Gotcha.
I cruise, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so
you're welcome everywhere, kind of that way.
Yeah, you show aloha.
Yeah,
like you want to be a haole, which is a man with no breath. Then expect no breath back.
There you go.
So
fair enough.
Yeah,
you won an event, right?
Yeah. I won a couple events.
Oh, you won a couple events. Okay.
And the most famous one was at Creek because my dad showed up. I was on Timmy's boards, Patterson's.
Oh.
But Timmy learned to shape from my dad.
Okay.
Timmy.
So they're friends.
They're friends.
Okay. Cool.
They're like father-son kind of trip, brother,
gotcha.
But I remember I was riding another guy. I had a Japanese shaper sponsor, but Dad showed up with that event. 2 boards I'd never ridden, showed up to the beach. I went out, won the first heat. I remember Rat Boy Jason Collins walking up to me, and he's like, "Oh, is that a new board? You're brave. You're gonna go out in the heat, and you've never ridden it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go win." He was like, "Yeah, whatever, Sleigh," and walked away.
Okay.
And I went and won.
Oh, rad. How rad's that? How big was the creek that day?
Oh, it was probably like a head high day.
Okay.
It was fun.
The creek's super fun.
Yeah.
It was. I don't think it is anymore.
It is, and
changed.
it's changed a lot, but that's like here. It's just like everywhere.
that's true.
Sands shift.
Yeah.
So where's the sandbar at, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just the way it is. So.
Okay. So were you friends with Rat Boy or not really?
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's just shit talking kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, I'm not like I said, that's not my character.
Yeah. So everyone's a friend.
Yeah. To me, you're your friend, but if you got beef, then let's go beef.
Right.
You know, but I
Gotcha.
always, that was just what I learned, you know, that's how I was shown, that was the way I was shown, you know,
Okay.
treat people with respect if you
Got
want
it.
respect.
Yeah.
So.
100%. Okay. Let's talk about this real quick, though. I
Yep.
want your opinion.
Go for it.
They do judge airs in regular CT events, or we'll just say WSL events, right?
Yeah.
But don't you think there still could be a separate tour for airs?
Oh, of course.
Why don't they have it? I wonder.
Powers that be.
Are they keeping them down, you think?
Powers that be, and I think, you know, someone needs to just step out. But the hard thing is permits are so expensive.
There's a lot of probably politics.
There's a lot of politics, so you got to pull sponsors together. You got to get the permits.
Yeah.
I think if someone stepped up, you could totally do it.
Yeah.
I honestly do believe there is a place.
Like a global air show or something kind of thing?
Yeah. And,
Separate tour?
Yes. And even with like my winch, the moto winch, the tow device that I
okay.
have, like
We'll
think,
get into that, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole other spectrum of performance surfing that we haven't even tapped yet in the sport. So I think it's great. There's a lot of growth ahead. So
Why did they end?
So there was some guys that sold it. So the powers that be at Surfing Magazine, like the Bibles were the magazines back in the day, let's say,
100%.
per se.
Yeah.
And so they controlled and felt that they could get more marketing dollars out of the companies to go towards the ASP tour. Because I remember the year that we basically had to pay $200. We went to the North Shore. Our final was at Pipeline, and it was during the Pipe Masters. We paid the $200. We were told that if we paid the $200, paid the ASP fee, we would be able to go up against Shea Lopez and, you know, Corey and Andy, and we would go compete against them.
All right.
So all us boys, we were like, all right, let's
do
pit the World Tour guys against the air show guys.
Okay, fair.
Let's see who's best.
Okay.
Yeah, I just look back at those moments back then, and we as surfers should have had a pact. We should have had like a
union
contract,
or something,
a union,
or,
and because it was sad. And we lost our one moment. You're at the top. You're getting a lot of media coverage.
Yeah.
Your sponsorships, everything is solidified on that because you're out there promoting, marketing, whatever. Like I was sponsored by Toyota. I had Anarchy shoes, Osiris shoes. Yeah, they they sold it. And I remember the next year, you know, hitting up the guys. Okay, so what's the tour schedule? What's going on? And they're like, there's no more tour.
Like that overnight.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, didn't even give us a heads up or anything.
How do you feel about contests in general? Do you like contests, surfing?
You know, I do. Actually, It's weird. Since I tore my labrum last year crashing on the motocross bike and then being told I'd probably never surf again, moto or do anything, and then making a recovery.
Okay.
And through the last 8 months, I've have this newfound appreciation in Stoke.
Of contests?
And to put a jersey on at Surfercross this last,
yeah,
you know, the wave sucked.
Okay.
It was really walled, so I couldn't put together what I wanted to do.
Okay.
But it wasn't for lack of ability.
Okay.
And it brought me back to those days competing where you had almost like the freestyle motocross guys, you had a set list of tricks that you wanted to nail. And then if you got the first one out of the way, you'd build your confidence up through the heat.
Like they say, build the house.
You just
kind of
build
thing.
the house,
Yeah.
you know? And so, you know, I'd probably put on a pro jersey again if I stayed with it and had the time aside to train for it. You know? So yeah,
Even at your age,
even at my age,
you're not old.
No,
but you're in your 40s.
Yeah, you know, but that's like Sonny. Sonny was a grandpa, and he went and won the Sunset contest. So
there's certain ways that
there's certain ways,
that
there's
work.
certain things that will definitely perpetuate a man's longevity.
Yeah,
you got to train for it.
Yeah,
And probably a lot of guys might hear this story and they'll be like, whatever, Sleigh.
Yeah.
But I'll call you out. Let's go, boys.
Well, actually, then I just thought of this. And they had this here and there, the Masters series. Why don't they bring that back?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you want to see Mark Richards in a jersey again?
Yeah.
Or even, I don't know, some
Hell,
Jake the Snake
I would love to
Patterson?
go draw frickin' Gavin Sutherland or frickin'
Yeah.
Rat Boy.
Okay.
I don't know if they do it anymore. I don't know if they even surf anymore. You know?
I'm sure they do.
I know Mick Henry does. He was that
guy rips.
He was an air show champion. So.
Yeah, I used to see him at the Revolts.
Yep. The Revolts. That's when we used to do we did the winch there back in the day too. So.
Yeah, my son surfed like all those events
Too
when he was
cool.
like a little kid.
Rad, man. Yeah,
We were always down there.
It's good stuff. I think it's really healthy. I think it's kind of gotten out of control with the way the industry has changed.
Probably the reason why there's no contest. There's not even a local contest for the local. You can't even be a local pro anymore.
There is no
Yeah,
such
there's no-
thing
yeah.
because you don't have
They've
companies.
evaporated.
You don't have local clothing company. You don't have clothing companies sponsoring shop kids.
Yep, it's gone.
So how could you be a shop pro?
Yeah,
And that's what it was, you know. Or you were a pro. Like I didn't know this when I got let go from Hurley, but
Yeah.
like they let me go because I moved down here and I wasn't surfing Salt Creek every day anymore.
they wanted a Salt Creek guy.
Yeah. So I mean, but
Makes sense.
you know, it is what it is. You learn. You know, if I would have known what I know now, would I be where I am today? No.
What does that mean? Where would you be
I don't know.
if you had your way?
If I had my way, would I have bought my bitchin' house and been in Oceanside killing it right now? Probably not. No. You know, life's a trip, so you got to enjoy the journey. But I'm happy. So
Okay, you're happy. Good.
yeah.
Since you brought it up, your winch.
Yeah, the
surfing.
moto winch. So it's not mine.
It's okay.
Let's just get off on that.
I remember
did
the first time they
R&D.
did it.
Uh-huh.
I just happened to be at Buccaneer Beach in the
Right.
afternoon one day.
Okay, yeah.
Was that you guys?
Yeah.
And you guys had, I think Whitlock's may had some boards.
Yeah. Corey and Ricky
Corey,
and
yeah.
the family.
I
And
don't know
Rusty.
if Ricky was there, but yeah.
Okay.
Corey.
Yeah, Rusty's dad used to shape with my dad in Hawaii.
Yeah, Rusty's
Or Corey,
the best guy.
I mean, Rusty's
Yeah.
dad. Rusty, Corey's dad.
Rusty's the best guy in the entire world. I love that guy.
But that's that era.
Yeah. Let's talk about the winch surfing. So I thought
ahead.
it wasn't your project.
Everyone thinks it's mine.
Okay. So how did it come
pioneered
about?
it. I
What do you
brought it. I brought it to surfing.
Okay.
So I
Where
was
was it at
I
before?
was laying in a bed watching Fuel TV, and
Okay,
I saw
cool.
some wakeboarders in a parking lot at towing. And
Yeah.
I was like, "What is that?" And I was working at a machine shop off Palomar Airport Road.
Okay.
And I remember sitting there, and I've always been around like go-karts, cars, whatever. And I was looking at the box, and I'm like, they took a go-kart motor and put the freaking rope around the rim. They made a stationary freaking fishing spool winch.
Okay.
And so I was
That's
building one, and at the time I ended up getting sponsored by Placebo.
Okay.
And this guy was in Florida with Grinch Winch. I was building my winch, and I got a phone call. This guy Joey Jones, which is now the owner, one of the owners and guys behind Moto Winch. So
Okay.
I've kept an outstanding relationship with these guys, and I've done a lot of the R&D.
Okay.
And gave him a lot of feedback. And, you know, if you guys want to take care of me, take care of me. If not, I got my winch. So
There you go. Do you have to pull permits or anything for that? You guys kind of do it like secretly? Like, what does the lifeguard say?
You
and
know,
stuff?
everyone just kind of watches me. You know,
Okay.
let's say I've been doing it here for over 20 years and never has there ever been an
problem.
injury or a problem. I
Okay,
mean,
cool.
Yet I've seen people get taken out by stand-ups.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all in etiquette,
Okay.
you know?
So, hey, I looked online. I'm guessing it's still you. Were you involved in the stand-up paddling?
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah, I did
All right.
that too. So long
Now
story
you're-
short,
Okay, so
I went pro in that, had pro models, and
That's rad.
That actually, because of a motor, I raced Supercross at
Okay.
Qualcomm back in the day, and I had a crash, and I separated my spine, my L4, L5.
all right.
I was either going to surgery, or my lady at the time was able to get me a stand-up. She's like, maybe it would help you. So
Strength or something?
yeah,
Strengthen
I was
yourself?
like, but no one ever told me don't take it to the ocean.
Are you one of the first? Well, I mean, Laird was doing it back in the day.
Yeah, well, I not the first, definitely not the first. Lopez, all those guys, but Ron
Yeah.
House. It was a Ron House board, and it was like 27 inches wide, which is really narrow nowadays. And
Oh, yeah.
I remember I took it out, and I was falling over like I counted like 50 times. I couldn't get up, but my
Okay.
back was weak.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. It looked so easy.
It looks easy.
It looked so easy. I'm like, this is really messed up. And I remember, I think it was one of the Trans World photographers was down the beach with Heath this guy Heath, an Aussie guy, and they were telling me to beat it and flipping me off, and they didn't know it was me. So I paddled over on my knees, and I got next to him. I go, "You say one more word, this paddle's going up your ass."
That's funny.
But it rehabbed me.
So what's your thoughts on stand-up paddling in the lineup?
Etiquette, man. If you are a novice or anything else, you shouldn't be out.
Go to lagoon or something.
Go to a lagoon. Don't go out where there's a bunch of surfers, man. Like San Diego's got enough beaches with open places. You can go out by yourself.
It drives me nuts when there's certain guys. Now, I think stand-up paddle, I'm against it now.
Okay.
But I think back in the day, but my opinion is, I know a couple of the old guys that have surfing when Dana Point was Dana Point.
Yeah.
Killers or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And, their knees are bad. The only way they're going to get in the water is stand-up paddle.
The only way, man.
And they do it.
But again, they're old salty dogs, and you're not going to tell an old salty dog what to do.
Yeah. So he's out there. Well, they're out there as a group, and I'm like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But they're not the guy that's 40 that's just never been to the ocean, moved from Wisconsin. That's going to take kids.
And I think that's the thing nowadays that's a problem with social media is everything's so cool and everything's this and everything's filming that. And
including surfing?
Everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And so you get these guys, and I don't think there's an etiquette anymore. There's
no respect.
And you can't be the bulldog in the area anymore. Someone's going to go sue you, or they're going to film you, or it's just different.
Yeah.
It's just different.
So anything else about winch surfing? What's the feeling? You're going pretty damn fast.
Well, now you control it.
Okay.
It's solo.
There's like a little button.
I go by myself.
Really?
It's a lithium ion battery.
Okay.
The battery's in the handle. The throttle is on the handle. You want to go fast? It's like your car or your motorcycle.
So you can time it for the wave coming in and stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you come with me. You can.
It looks kind of gnarly, actually.
It's not.
Okay.
You sit there. The hardest part's just the start.
Yeah.
I've had.
it almost looks like you're getting in positions like a windsurfer or like a kite surfer gets in their boards.
Well, you have the
Some of those
speed.
Yeah.
You have the
speed. Way your body's angled. I saw your videos.
Yeah, the speed.
Once you torqued all back.
Well, you're going because I go. But see, that's just me. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm pro at it. I'm pioneer. I make it look easy. I have pros come and they can't do it. And they're like pissed. They're like, "Why do you make it look so easy?" Well, I've been doing it 20-something years, kid.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's the thing is like I've always been passionate about full throttle.
Okay.
So the faster I can go, the bigger the air, the bigger the hack, the turn.
Yeah.
Like
those big layback turns you do.
God, I was an air guy, and now
you like layback.
I love to crank it.
Yeah.
It
looks good.
I want to just lay into the biggest arc and hack that I can. It's weird that and let the kids have the airs, but the kids can have the airs, and I'll still go throw down. So it's fun.
And then it says you're X Games.
X Games twice.
For what?
For Harley Hooligan. So Hooligan Racing is stock Sportsters retrofit a front rim to the back wheel.
Okay. I don't know about bikes, but
put flat track tires.
Say the layman's
term. Blown out 1200 cc with a cams, and they call a lot of professional street bike racers and motocrossers. They're scared shitless of it.
It's a
420, 500 pound bike, and we pitch it sideways pin.
Wow.
And I wear a steel shoe. I mean, this is the birth. Is
this the ones with no brakes?
Yes.
Fuck that.
I mean, think about it. This is the Endless Summer Bruce Brown meets on any Sunday.
Okay,
any Sunday, the guys with the steel shoe, Burt Myrtle, the boys, that's what they do. And I used to watch that and dream of doing it. And then who would have thought that I would have ended up here doing it? But
that's right.
That's what I do, and I love it. And I feel I feel very honored to uphold something Bruce Brown started, the whole of action sports, motocross.
Yeah. How did you do in the games?
Qualifying, I was the fastest of 100 guys in the nation.
Wow. Yeah, cool.
A surfer.
You build boards. You've mentioned that kind of here and there.
Yeah, I love building surfboards.
Okay.
I recently got to build a board for a motocross company, Troy Lee.
Okay, real quick. Do you use Board Builder, or do you are you doing start to finish?
Start to finish, everything.
You glass and everything?
Glass, sand, polish,
so
airbrush.
You're not a shaper?
Master craftsman.
Okay, perfect.
I can say that now after the last batch of boards that I did.
Okay.
Start to finish, I did a Myco 7-1 replica.
Okay.
Full high polish, beaked out, Stussy, our Sleigh nose, down rails for, nod to Dick, but Brewer, but also foil them out like the Sleigh style. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And then
That was amazing.
You always bring up punk rock. So is that your music of choice, or do you like all music?
I love punk rock.
Okay.
But I love reggae.
Okay. Perfect.
But then
a lot of
I
punkers like that.
I like some
Bad
Hank
Brains
Williams,
okay.
you know, and then I just
What kind of mood you're in?
Depends on my mood and what kind of vibe I want to get
Okay.
going. You
Yeah.
know, that's kind of, but Dad was a punker. So
Did he like punk?
yeah,
like,
he was.
What was his band?
Oh,
Like some of the
TSOL,
old- okay.
you know, Descendants, Bad Brains. I mean, he listened, you know, to the core old school punk rock. I mean,
Was he going to punk shows?
He dated this English girl, and he used to hang with all the English punkers.
Oh, that's a whole different side, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Different.
he went deep into
that's cool.
it. But we're also Sleighs, and we had some English in the family, and
Yeah.
he went over there to do some research on the family, and he was there and fell in love with a full punk rock spiked chick. So,
That's rad. What year was that?
no, that was in the 80s. I
Okay,
remember.
so when it was like
I was
early-
young. I
early
was
punk.
like, I think I was like, let's see, I was like 6 or 7, and he came back. His head was shaved. He had a pirate bandana on. He had earrings. That was like the transformation time for Dad. We're in his 40s. He just went, I'm punk. I'm staying punk. And
Well, that was his thing.
And everyone back then here in the 80s, they were like, whoa, what's up with this guy? Like,
Yeah. Because that was so out there then.
yeah, it was new.
Yeah.
It was fresh. It was the 70s, 80s core punk rock was awesome.
Yeah. Right on.
So I really, yeah. And, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So, and surfers are kind of always like that, even though I'm not really, but
Yeah.
you seem
whatever.
to have your foot in so many different places. How
Yeah.
did that happen?
Just through
The upbringing?
my
Yeah.
step family.
Okay.
They were full motorheads. I would go to the Baja 1000. They would race Baja bugs, and
Wow.
we'd go down to Baja and surf with them and race and pre-run and ride motos. And so that was kind of how that really happened with me with the whole motocross thing, was all the Homan family.
Okay.
My dad's stepbrother, Uncle Bo, he raced LA Coliseum.
Wow.
Promote Supercross, just cool stuff. So, I mean, that is the California,
The epitome of California kid, really.
the action sports. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and so I feel really blessed that I learned a lot about like just the respect in Hawaii and everything, and then had that whole other side of the family. So I could just
Did it feel like two different worlds, or did it all blend together?
two different worlds.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you knew
Yeah.
everything was changing when you were going to the islands.
Yeah. I just knew I could slow down. Pace
Oh,
was
okay.
going to slow down, you know. I'm going to go sit there and hang out with Bosco Burns, Ronnie Burns' dad, watch him glass boards, and then go down and watch Dad shape, and then watch Marvin Foster do wheelies with a joint down Cam Highway, one-handed with a doobie, and throwing my dad a shaka right there at Cammy's Market. So,
Let's just talk about the history real quick.
yeah.
How was hanging out with some of these guys that are no longer on Earth? And like, Marvin Foster.
You
or
felt
your
their
dad.
energy.
Yeah.
You felt them. Like they had a mana, a power, an energy that you were like, this is an elite, this is a king, this is a master.
Okay.
And there's very few like that nowadays, I think.
That's my question is going to be,
Yeah.
is there anybody standing up like that today?
To me, I would say Mike Ho.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
He's charging.
If Sonny was, we can go to Hawaii. I can introduce you to a couple of the elite. You know,
Yeah.
they're still there. You know, and I think like Makua and
Kind of picking up that.
there's still that energy. You
Okay.
know, and there's that mana and respect, and that's something that I've always appreciated.
Okay.
You know, because if shit hit the fan, that someone would have your back.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Nowadays, you look around and you're like, is anybody here going to be able to do anything?
Well, it's a different world.
It's a different world.
yeah.
So,
There's someone has a camera pointed at you.
yeah.
So like
Go for it.
I don't want to ever get in a fight now because I'm going to go to jail. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
want
what
to
I
go
mean.
to jail.
Nobody wants to,
You know, so
know?
I'm going to walk away almost every time.
Yeah, it's like I mean, like I said, if I see someone that's out of place,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll step in. Just do the right thing. So
What do you think about social media?
if I didn't have to have it, I wouldn't.
Okay. You feel like you need it?
It's really helped me with just making ends meet.
Making ends meet.
You know.
Okay.
So, and I appreciate the sponsorships and, just the support and the reach and the friendships that have reconnected and kindled through it. I mean, there's a positive and a negative. you're
Yeah.
on it too much, it can be a negative. It robs your time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So.
Do you like to go on it though?
It's weird. I'm at that point where I'm like doing the inner work, and I'm like, I got to manage this now.
Yeah. Anything else you want to push? Your business?
Just Sleigh boards, you
Yeah.
can, Sleigh surfboards. You can find me on Instagram, Sleigh boards. I have my floor cleaning company. You can find it at Clean Steam Co. on Instagram. That's
Okay.
kind of my thing. That's my hustle.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, wow, you're still pro. And I'm like, well, I still got to do work, man.
Yeah.
And I have companies actually hitting me up right now. And it's like, well, you guys, if you want me to rep it, then we got to subsidize my time working. Because
Yeah.
I can't do both. I can't do everything.
For free.
To be an ambassador for free.
Yeah. You can't.
You just
You got to
can't.
pay bills.
And so that's the balancing act right now and figuring it out. Which is really rad. I feel really blessed at this time. So.
It seems like back in the day, pro surfers or any athlete was getting paid. Now they seem like a lot of people, the elite guys are getting paid, and they're getting paid well.
Yep.
Everyone else is just struggling.
There's no platform.
Yeah.
And if there is, it's what you do on your page, and it's what you do. I
So
think
it's a whole different job just to manage that.
I think it goes back out to like it goes back to the grassroots way. Make a movie. Save your A clips. Don't put it out there. Put your B clips out. Let people see, but save your clips. Go like I was with Tyler Warren. I got to be
Oh, I saw that.
I got to introduce him to. He was really cool. We've become friends, and him and his buddy John that helped him produce his movie, and they had me introduce him to the crowd.
How'd you get chosen for that?
Tyler and I just hit him up random. We're friends, and he's a mutual board builder.
Wow.
And I
That's
respect what he does. He respects what I do. And we were just hanging. And John and them looked at me, hey, you want to do it? I was having a couple beers. And I was like, sure.
Wow.
Was
it intimidating standing in front of the crowd?
If I'm loose,
Okay.
I love talking to people. I love seeing kids get stoked. And I think that's what it needs to go back to in our industry. We got to go backwards in that sense, like do movies.
Yeah.
Do giveaways for kids. I think it's great seeing the WSAs because I sponsor some kids, Stone Childress, and this girl Sunny. I've given her some boards, and I've given some boards to some kids, and it's all about my dad. My dad told me, Josh, you're going to build boards. Make sure you take care of the kids. Don't charge them full price. Just do whatever you can to make sure kids got boards.
Do you think that you have to have money now almost to be like an amateur surfing to get around the world? And
I mean, how else are you going to do it?
Yeah. So if you don't have money, it's going to be
and learn how to build boards so when you're in another part of the country that you can go get some work and work for people.
What about machines? Are you anti-machine? Are you for the machine?
The machine it's got its place. If you're doing mass volume.
Yeah.
So if anybody
Channel
wants,
Islands, Paizel,
if you guys want to see sleigh boards, I could use a sales guy and an investor. So if you guys want to do it and you feel that the sleigh name needs to make a comeback, I'm here. So
there you go. How different are your boards from your dad's? Sorry, I just keep one other question.
You know what? I love it.
The rails and stuff.
No, they're very similar.
Okay.
I got my own. What's weird is it's like when I get in the room, I use my dad's tools. So there's a synergy. There's an energy there. Like I'm almost being tapped his spirit.
Okay.
And I'll go in there. I go on autopilot.
Okay.
And I keep putting boards in the old school guys' hands. And they're like, this is just like your dad's boards.
Okay.
So I think there's something to be said about that. There's something there. I just feel like there's a spiritual... There's an energy. There's definitely something that's going on, and so I think that's where the magic boards come from personally.
Okay.
But then there's my eye. I have my measurements. I've ridden everybody's boards from Rusty to Timmy. I kind of was a board slut as a pro.
All right. All over the place.
But Dad didn't have money to make boards for me, so I rode everybody's stuff.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But I felt their boards, and I've been on. I won't name guys' boards, but I've been on them, and they sucked.
Now, was it? And these guys were they actually the shaper, or did they have like a ghost shaper and you were just picking a board?
No, it was always straight for them.
Okay.
I had some that the guy couldn't surf.
That's a problem. How many shapers actually surf?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I always tell people.
Think now it's more.
Even today now, like I've had people come up to me and they ask me, and I always tell them, like, if you're going to get a surfboard, go watch the guy surf that's going to shape your board.
Surf with him.
Go surf with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're going to find out really quick where he's at.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna find out real fast if he's a slow surfer. Don't expect a fast board.
All right. Anything else, Josh?
Yeah, just love my family and love life. Treat people well. Always aloha in the heart and spirit when you meet people with kindness. Helps. Just walk up to someone you don't know. They might need some prayer over them.
Okay.
You don't know who's going through a hard time nowadays. So I always try to, whenever I get touched by the Holy Spirit, just don't be scared. Walk up and pray over someone. So
Right on. All right, everyone. This is Mike and Josh Sleigh, and we're out of here. Thanks for joining us. See ya. Oh.
100 foot out choke food. 100 racks on a surf dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Fu. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. 100 foot out choke food. 100 racks on a surf dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Fu. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. Your boo on my didgeridoo. They calling me dude. I'm stacking the loot. I'm ripping your chick in the coop. She grabbing a hold of my leggy. They jelly, they Gucci my weddy. The fridge of Giuseppe, the chain is so heavy. She think that I'm charging the Eddie. 100 foot out choke food. 100 racks on a surf dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Fu. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. 100 foot out choke food. 100 racks on a surf dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Fu. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. Surf trap, I'm stacking that money. Cash. 4 shorts, a red Ferrari. He starts to calling me Dundee. Diamonds a surfing McFlurry. She want me to teach her to surf. Splash. I'm pulling up, ripping the verse. I'm leaving these kooks in the hearse. They get moved 100 foot on their head, they get work. 100 foot out choke food. 100 racks on a surf dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Fu. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. 100 foot out choke food. 100 racks on a surf dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Fu. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. You calling me dude, I'm stacking the loot. I'm ripping your chick in the coop. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. They calling me dude, I'm stacking the loot. I'm ripping your chick in the coop.
Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.